Escalation. We zoom down the alley 10 meters above empty streets. Looking back over my shoulder, I see no signs of pursuit. Maybe they know that Cole's with me. There's no way to shoot the board down without killing us both. Or maybe they've got too much else to deal with. It's hitting at last, the ecstasy of combat. With my arms wrapped around Cole, our weight leaning together into the turns. That rapture of unquestioned reflex and purpose comes over me. But then, as we peek above the rooftops for a moment, I catch a glimpse of the night sky streaked with flames ahead. My father's suborbitals coming down in the distant ruins. Jagged forks of lightning reach up from the earth, contesting with them. Our families are at war. More soldiers will die tonight. I'm so sorry, I murmur into Cole's shoulder. You tried to stop this by coming here. It's Jeffa's fault for trusting him. Cole thinks I came here of my own free will, that my presence has some chance of making my father stay his hand, but I was disposable, a way to make the Palafoxes drop their guard. All that training and escape and improvised weapons wasn't a last resort. It was always the plan to leave me exposed in enemy territory. All my life, I thought my sister and I were a knife with two edges, but she was all that mattered, and I was just a bullet to be fired and forgotten. What if I was fooling myself along with everyone else? We fly until we reach an industrial belt at the edge of the city. The buildings are windowless and square, and the roads swarm with self-driving trucks. The factories down there must be shifting gears, ready to produce drones and battle armor. Arabella plans to retake the ruins. She doesn't know my father. We're close to the city's edge, Cole says. The hoverboard slows. Past the factory light, I see the dark expanse of the desert. I've camped in the wild before, but the thought of going out there alone makes me nervous. At home, Rafia was always there in the next bed. Even as a hostage, there's always been a house full of people around me. The thought of making my lonely way out into the blackness makes my stomach twist. Before this moment, I had no idea I was afraid to be alone. Of course, I didn't know about the snake thing either until I came face to face with one. A shudder goes through me. You can take my jacket, Cole says. It's heated. Thank you. The board comes to a halt, and he turns around to face me. I look down at myself. I'm a mess, my nightshirt dotted with cactus spines. Cole shrugs his jacket off. You can't make it all the way to Shreb on one charge, but this board has solar panels. It's okay. They'll pick me up in the ruins. He turns, frowns at the streaks of light in the west. Don't be so sure about that. You could be walking into a battle. I let out a sigh. People always think the fight will be fair, but it never is. I'll be fine as long as I've got my knife. The board shifts a little beneath our feet. Thank you for helping me escape, Cole. He drapes his jacket around my shoulders. It's warm, but not as warm as being in his arms. Why did your father do this? Cole asks. How could he risk losing you? I could tell him what I realized at last, that risking me was always the plan. My father used me to lure the rebels out. He warned me to be ready to escape. My whole life, I've been disposable. But that confession can't be the last thing I say to him, so I make up a lie. Something must have gone wrong. An accident, friendly fire. He nods. This can't last long. Wars between cities never do. I'll ping you as soon as I can. I look away. Cole won't be able to ping me because my sister will get her name back once I'm home. As far as the global interface is concerned, Frey doesn't exist. Just remember, he says, this fight has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with me, the impostor who's tricked the Palafoxes into trusting my father. I'll miss you, I say. Me too, Rafia. He takes my shoulders then and leans forward. The warmth of his lips on mine sets the air humming, like my skin when a rainstorm is on its way. There's a rushing in my head, and in it I hear my own name instead of hers, as if this kiss is the first thing that really belongs to me alone. And I know exactly how to kiss him back, like I've been practicing my whole life for this. But then my father's voice whispers in my ear. Emergency message. I startle, pulling back. Cole stares at me. What? I tap my Serrano and my sister's voice starts crying. Get out of that house now, Frey. Out a window, kill anyone in your way. In 30 seconds, it won't matter. I look up into Cole's dark eyes, hoping I'm wrong. Knowing I'm right, Arabella wasn't lying that she had a surprise from my father up her sleeve. His forces have been repulsed in the ruins. This fight is harder than he expected. And when that happens, he only knows one way to respond. I'm so sorry, I whisper. Oh, Cole turns away and the back of his hand against his lips. I thought you wanted me to kiss you. He doesn't understand. He can't hear Raffia in my ears. He's going to escalate. I swear I didn't know about this. Just get out, Frey. Get out. I open my mouth to explain, but Raffia's message hasn't come in time. From the north, a speck of light shrieks across the sky, faster than anything I've ever seen. It leaves a trace, a wavering trail of plasma, the air itself on fire, and plunges deep into the heart of Victoria. My father makes his own reality, sometimes with force, sometimes with atrocity. The flash reaches us first, then a boom that ripples the air, setting us wavering for a moment on the hoverboard. From the center of the distant city, a dark fist of smoke begins to rise. Cole stands there, his eyes wide. There's no room inside me to feel anything but resolve. I need to protect him now with an urgency that feels like hunger. We have to move, I say softly. He'll hit the factories next. But that's my... Cole starts and his words shudder to a halt. I turn him gently away from the column of smoke rising from his home and lean forward to urge our hoverboard deeper into the darkness.